Well, welcome everybody. This is week 3 of our May theme, putting into practice Dr. Paul Wong's principles for living a meaningful life. And this week, we're going to talk about another one of these key principles that Dr. Wong mentions. And this one is make sure that you act according to your values. Make sure you act according to what's meaningful to you in your life. Addicts are notorious, and even those in early recovery are notorious for acting against their values, against what's meaningful to them. Here is such a typical example I see all the time. So a fellow comes up to me and he starts talking about, for example, the relationship with his father. And so I ask him, well, Harry, what do you truly want? What is truly meaningful to you in this situation? What would you like the relationship with your father to be? And Harry will tell me, well, I want a really close relationship with my father. Great, and that's great. So that's meaningful to Harry. This is a value that he holds very dearly. And yet Harry will then walk out of the office, go to the phone, and then get into this big yelling match with his dad. Like, it's unbelievable. So I talked to Harry, okay, what was that all about? Oh yeah, he always gets on my case, geez, I can't do anything, doesn't trust me, and geez, I can't stand being around the guy. And so when I talked to Harry about what was he feeling, or what was he thinking before he made the phone call, and inevitably, again, he'll admit to me, well, we get into arguments all the time. I was really nervous, and I just had this feeling the argument would come. And I asked him, well, Harry, were you defensive when maybe your dad brought up something that you took as a criticism? And he'll admit to that, yes. So in other words, Harry is basically preparing to get into a fight before he even makes the phone call. And yet what he's truly valuing is a deep connection. But everything he's doing is going to prohibit the development of that connection. In fact, everything that he's actually doing, preparing for a fight, then getting into a big argument, is never going to lead him to where he wants to be. Is never going to get him to this place where he can have this deep, close connection with his father. And that's just one example of lots that we see all the time. We talk about people who are, have integrity, and this is important to people, and yet at the same time, they may try to manipulate somebody or lie to them to get their own way. It's all of these sort of crazy things that happen to us in active addiction and early recovery. But anyway, one of the keys to happiness, to live a meaningful life, is to, when you find something that you believe in and that you value, is to act in a way that you start pursuing that, and not to wear a mask, not to pretend something doesn't bother you when it really does, not to have any worries that I might ruin this other human being's life. Well, that's true, I suppose, if you murder them or something, but all of these, the behaviors that we do which go against our very values, everything we believe. And if you want a reason for suffering, well, Dr. Wong would point out to you that when you do act according or against what you truly value, what is truly meaningful to you, that is a recipe for suffering. So at any rate, something to think about. As always, the online program is there. You can read up on it. There are a few questions you can answer and send them in, and we'll see you next week.